Everybody in the Super Bowl. The NFL's got to be pumped is what everybody says. But if you read what the internet says, nobody's pumped. So does that make the NFL pumped? Who knows? What we do know is that these two teams, one of them leading the NFC all year to a number 1 seed in a revenge tour after everybody getting hurt in the first quarter of the NFC Championship last year, being dominant from start to finish, with a little bit of a hiccup in the middle when Debo and Trent Williams were injured. But immediately afterwards, this man, the game manager of all game managers in his second year, alongside that big brain of Kyle Shanahan, are going to have some special things in store. Because there's videos hitting the internet of George Kittle from the last Super Bowl, where Jimmy G was their quarterback, if you do recall, and they had to lead over the Kansas City Chiefs, where George Kittle, kind of crying and emotional at the end of the game, saying, this is not the last time I'm going to be here. This is not the last time I'm going to be here. Well, he's back, taking on a team that has basically made the home of the Super Bowl. And they'll be playing in a postseason game in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas before the Raiders will be playing in a postseason game in Las Vegas in Allegiant Stadium. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. The lead-up is going to be bananas, and we'll be there every step of the way. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Good-looking dog on the chest call, man.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I wore it just because, Kansas City Chiefs were dogs. I doubted them. I thought the Ravens were going to do it, and it was kind of cool watching it back, as you said, for the last 5 Super Bowls. New England did that 2014 and 2018, and it was on the other side for myself watching it, what you guys got to experience watching New England. Like, just the first drive, and Gumpy mentioned this before the show, the first drive, Kansas City just walking down the field and scoring, it was, okay. So this is what it is like to not root for the team that is always going to end up either in the championship game on, Conference Championship Sunday or the Super Bowl. And it's sweet to watch. Like, I think it's cool to at least appreciate Mahomes, Reed, Kelce, Chris Jones, all those guys, how amazing it is that they've done it again. And obviously with the Taylor Swift stuff, people don't love
What's
that.
the Taylor Swift stuff? The most successful woman on earth right now happens to be dating the greatest tight end of all time who's on the current dynasty. Why is everybody so mad about it?
I don't get it.
Why is everybody so mad about it?
I'm
sick of people being mad about it.
Makes no sense.
You know what I like?
It's annoying.
What are we even talking about?
I love it.
And if you see, I know that's one half of the hammer. Cowboys tone digs. You love that type of stuff. You're not scared to stir it up a little bit in those particular parts of the world. But I don't fully understand. Now, at the beginning, I can see it.
Sure.
Oh, she's releasing a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on 14 commercials? Yep. Oh, we're getting worked right now? The NFL, bunch of bums showcasing, shoving it down our throats.
Right.
I'm sick of seeing it. Every commercial, him. Every game, her. We're done. I could see that. But did you see them after the game yesterday?
Yeah,
That's what I was saying I loved.
Hey, they're an actual... Hey,
they love each other.
Yeah.
They love each other very
actual
much.
love. I am so happy that the world got to see that, and that I think... I don't want to say I told you so, because in sports media, a lot of people say that, and then they say a lot of things that are wrong, and they just refuse to chit-chat about those, and we are certainly no different than everybody else. But from the very beginning, I thought to myself, these two might be perfect for each other. These two might be perfect for each other. And then as you see it kind of unravel, I think he thanked her, obviously, for being a big part of the run. They were kissing. She got a chance to give him a big hug with his pads on.
Yeah.
She got to see him go give a speech. She gave a shout-out to Andy Reid. She dapped up Tony Romo. Yeah. It's like Taylor's a part of the football world now. This is good news, not bad news. But a lot of people are going to say, well, how many times is CBS going to show Taylor Swift at that Super Bowl? Well, she is a global phenomenon.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's selling out stadiums in all these countries in which it's their first game they're watching every single year. I assume they're going to show Taylor a lot.
Quite a bit.
I assume it's going to get real loud. But I assume that this Kansas City Chiefs team is going to somehow have a plan to win the game.
Yeah.
One of the Chiefs' biggest believers, has actually had to make up excuses to a 9-year NFL vet, a man with a high football IQ, host of our program every single Monday through Wednesday, Darius J. Butler. I've had to make up excuses throughout this year about this Kansas City Chiefs team. I feel like I'm one of the biggest supporters of this Kansas City Chiefs team, just because, to what you were kind of saying there about, like, I enjoy watching greats be great.
Yeah.
Because the amount of commitment that it takes to be great, no matter how easy anybody makes it, the amount of commitment is admirable for anybody that makes it to the top. Now, not every human that makes it to the top is an admirable human being, but I'm talking about the road that it took to get to the top of the mountain is always going to be a difficult one, even if people make it look easy. So the amount of work that Andy Reid has put in for football, obviously. Patrick Mahomes, same damn thing. Travis Kelce, same damn thing. Chris Jones, same thing. Even though he held out and everybody could think some things, like the amount of work it takes to get to that standpoint. Because you're just a human at the end of the day. Now, granted, certain gifts are bestowed upon numerous people that they aren't upon others, but you have to work to get there. So I enjoy watching the greats be great. I appreciate learning about why the greats are great. So I am a huge fan of dynasties, and when people get going, oh, you're a bandwagoner. It's like, no, still love the Penguins. You know, we were once a dynasty and we're kind of dead. Sure. But I enjoy watching greatness. I love it. I appreciate it. I think the world needs more of it. I think we're on our way to getting more of it. So whenever I see this great team that I've fallen in love with watching and learning about do terrible, it's like, I don't want to believe it. Like whenever they were a terrible football team, I'm like, Patrick Mahomes is sick.
Yeah.
Well, the guy had the flu. What do you expect from him?
Win.
Well, there's 40-mile-an-hour winds. How is he supposed to throw the ball anyway? Travis Kelce dropping the ball. He thinks it's here, and then 30-mile-an-hour winds. It's right over there. Of course they're going to drop this. They're humans at the end of the day. I didn't expect them to be able to beat Baltimore. You said whenever you're watching it and they walk right down the field in the first series, I was thinking the same thing. Andy Reid was like, oh, Mike McDonald, that's cute.
Yeah,
exactly. You're the genius, huh? Your defense is just so incredible. And then they just have a plan clearly to go down. Now, that Baltimore Ravens defense, second half, shut it down, lock it down. Not enough, because what the Kansas City Chiefs defense did to the Baltimore Ravens offense, phenomenal. But I didn't think the Chiefs were going to be able to do it. I didn't think they were going to be able to make it to the Super Bowl. I didn't think they were going to be able to win the AFC Championship again. And then you see these plays, and it's like, why did I ever doubt them? The Chiefs is still the Chiefs. What did we learn about the Chiefs yesterday? And why did seemingly, and I would put myself in a category of, I wouldn't rob a bank to watch the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sure.
Okay? But they did go into the bank. Got a big win. Saw a couple good tweets about that. Shout out to Drew Tranquil, I believe, and MVS and the others.
Yep.
But then, like, I didn't have faith in them. I don't know if anybody did. And that's just all they needed, maybe? Why do you think the Chiefs is still the Chiefs? And do you think they have a chance against this Niners team? Obviously, yes, they have a chance against anybody.
Yeah, I know this line. I think it opened up the Super Bowl line initially, like 3 points.
2.5.
Okay, 2.5, and now it's down to 1. So that would be 3 weeks in a row. Mahomes will still be underdog. So for some reason, I guess the books still aren't believing in it. But like you said, once that game started, I think he came out, was like completed his first 10 or 11 passes.
Yep.
It was almost like the term we've been hearing thrown around a lot, a game manager. For like Mahomes was that a lot of this playoffs, taking care of the ball.
Whoa.
And then being special when he needed to be, like that throw to Travis Kelce. That
when he
back
was getting
shoulder.
tackled? Oh, no, the touchdown.
Kyle Hamilton is in his pocket, great position, back shoulder on his back hip, the only place you could put that ball. Travis Kelce showed up. You know, there was a lot said about him, obviously, with Taylor Swift and all the commercials and everything going on, wasn't having his best year. As the season started to wind down, once he got to playoff mode, Travis Kelce, I think he was the MVP of the game yesterday. To your point, the Ravens did lock it down in the second half, but just no mistakes, really.
This one.
This
one.
Yep.
Watch this one, D-But. Watch his catch, watch his throw. These two. Just like, how did any of us bet against those two?
It's the goat to the goat. And you saw it was a
That's backyard football.
little spiciness pre-game with Justin Tucker. But, I mean, those guys, you know, they're phenomenal. And Kelce, Reed, obviously, Mahomes, and then Spags. I mean, Spags, you know, obviously they've been probably a top 3 defense all year long. And I think that unit took pride in saying, hey, we're going to be the best defense on the field today. And they made Lamar pretty much think it up.
You said that Patrick Mahomes had to manage the game.
Yeah.
And everybody said, whoa, not only in here, but watching, because obviously Patrick Mahomes already on the Mount Rushmore in like everybody's eyes. He actually gave an answer in a press conference about having to learn how to play whenever Spags' defense gets rolling. He's like, I've actually had to evolve this year and learn, like, hey, be safe with the ball. As long as we don't turn the ball over right now, with the way our defense is playing, we're going to be in this game. So he's even continuing to develop, but also realizing that what they have on the other side of the ball is a weapon. Ty, obviously, the Packers have been so dominant on the offensive side of the ball. Defense very rarely has been able to keep up. It's always been a problem. You have one thing, you don't have the other. You have peanut butter, but for some reason we never have any damn grape jelly.
Right.
There's people that do a lot of cherry jelly, by the way.
Cherry?
Red, it's a red jelly.
Those people kill people.
Strawberry,
Mark,
strawberry
jam? Is that Bill?
Strawberry is good.
I'm a purple. I'm going for the purple
jelly.
every single.
Give me the squeezable Welch. Yeah.
Please.
But if you're a Chiefs fan, coming out of that game, and in the second half, offense did next to nothing, and we still win, it's like, oh, maybe our team's more complete than it's been for the beginning of this entire dynasty. And obviously Spags is a big reason why, but they're all playing on a string. They're phenomenal. What they've done in the last 2 weeks in this playoffs at the brightest of lights, it's like when the Packers have a defense, you feel good. They have a championship defense at Kansas City, something that they haven't had. Are they only starting with this? Because Spags' name's not up for any head coaching jobs.
No.
So he's back, obviously. Andy Reid is obviously back. It's like, are the Chiefs somehow only getting better right now in the middle of this dynasty? It feels like that's the case.
Yeah, and
we talk about it all the time. I don't know why. Like, you just got to stop betting against Mahomes. Like, and it's tough because when we talk about the season, obviously, and we're in it every single day, so you need to find new stuff to kind of overreact to, and week by week, things look so different. But it's one of those things where when you've been to 4 Super Bowls in 5 years, like, as a fan, yeah, a week 13 loss and then a week 14 loss, like, you go crazy, and it's like, hey, this isn't the same team. Like, you think Mahomes and Kelce and all those other guys and Andy Reid are, fretting about losing in week 13 against the Raiders or whenever it was, and everyone's acting like the sky's falling. It's like, hey, guess what? When the playoffs get here, like, we've been here before. And we've seen that with some of these other teams in the playoffs right now. I think it's easy to discount how much having been there before, like, that matters. Like, Lions, young team. Packers, young team. And in those moments where you absolutely need a guy to kind of step up and carry them, they have Mahomes, they have Kelce, they have these guys who have all this playoff experience. Like, that shit matters a lot.
Yeah. So that's championship pedigree.
Exactly.
And I think it was on display if you watch, 2 personal fouls on one drive right before half. When you watch Zay Flowers, right, what happens with Zay, and he's young and going to be a superstar in the league. This is not a knock at all. He did not have his best day he had a huge day, but he didn't have his best day on the field. But as player in the NFL, did not have his best day. Adding insult to injury, actually, hurting his finger on the sideline, getting pissed off about what he messed up on the field is like one of those things that he will have to hopefully continue to grow through.